Hi everybody, it's Andrew Hutchings with you here today again, because like you've heard in my other videos, when I record videos it gets me in a video making mood. So I'm gonna bring you another video on what I am doing for a minor arm nerve thing. Now I did have severe nerve damage in the past, but that's good now. So basically, right the other day when I went to the gym, when I went to go do my presses, because the weight was pushing here on my palm, it put pressure on the nerve. And even though it's only in the palm, it actually affected the whole arm and made it go numb. So I couldn't do presses. Now let's start with why that happened. So basically, when I'm on my computer most of the time, I don't know if you can tell, and it's not the same. So when I'm on my computer most of the time, how can I show this to you? You've got the computer's where my phone is, and here's the table. My arms are like this. You see how there's pressure pushing here? Not good. Not good for the tendons, not good for the nerves, not good for anything. And then also when I'm using my phone, I'm on my phone. You know, your arms are bent. Second, putting this back. So when you're on your phone, your arms are bent. There's tension in this area, and it's just not good. So the combination of the two, it's hard to say which one it is mostly, but I think it's mostly the computer, and then you add in on the phone. And on the phone's extra bad if you're laying down in bed, holding your arms over you. It just is. It's the way the tension works out. So yeah, both of my arms, I have a lot of tendinitis here. And the nerve is also very irritated. I've had this problem for the last 2 years since I got back into working out after I got back from my injuries. It was originally bad in my right arm. I got it better, luckily. And now but my right arm, it affected from here downwards. My left arm, I don't know if it's because I have a previous very bad injury that messed up my whole arm, but in my left arm, it's affecting my whole arm right now. So what I'm doing, number one, trying to avoid resting the arms there for the computer. Now the easiest way to do that is just be on the computer less. Now of course that's hard though, sucks. Hundreds of years ago, people were in the factories doing repetitive manual labor in unhealthy environments, and nowadays we think, oh, we're so much past that, but we're not. We're on our computers, ruining our eyes, having bad posture, like I just showed you, resting our arms there, messing up our arms. It's just different work hazards. And that's life, sadly. So number one is try to use a computer less. Now, if you can't use a computer less, try not to rest your arms when you're not typing. So I try to just have my finger. Probably I should just connect a mouse and rest the mouse on my leg and just scroll with my hand down low. Because usually I have my one arm or other arm, like I take turns scrolling the mouse. And also it's just natural to rest like that because you're typing half the time. Or not half, but who knows, yeah. The other thing is being on the phone less. Phones are addictive. And we all spend too much, most of us spend too much time on the phone. You just gotta realize that it's not that important to look at it so much. Why do you really care about looking at it so much? But yeah, I'm addicted to my phone. So number one, get rid of what's causing the problem. Number two, help with the inflammation. And what I do with that is ibuprofen. See the dark red ones? That's aspirin. Now the thing is, it's been shown that So I don't remember all the details, because like I tell you in other videos, you don't need to remember everything. You gotta be able to incorporate what's important and use it in good ways. So I think ibuprofen is one of the only common non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that does not hinder injury healing. Now I know that's very vague, injury healing. But yeah, it comes down to how much do you need to know, how much do you need to memorize. And I only need to memorize that, and I don't know for what kinds of injuries, but ibuprofen does the least harm to injuries that you're trying to heal while still getting rid of the inflammation. So I stick with ibuprofen. Now, actually, I forgot. I don't remember about... So the other thing I use is Voltaren Gel, which has, hold on, diclofenac. Yeah, diclofenac, duh. I don't remember exactly how it affects injury healing. And it doesn't really matter because I need to use it either way, because just ibuprofen by itself is not enough for me, usually. I mean, it can be if you nip it in the butt really early on. But I also put this all over here, not just, so here is the main area that tends to get inflamed because the tendons run through, there's like a canal in here. So often I'll just put it here, but this current problem, because it's putting a lot of the pressure here, I'm also putting it on my whole forearm, upper forearm area. And also I'm putting it here, because the tendon, even if you only mess with it in one area, in the nerve, both tendons and nerves I'm talking about, because they're both messed up a bit right now. But even if you only affect the tendon or the nerve in one area, it affects the whole thing, especially nerves. Like the same nerve runs from, at least the one that's messed up with me, that I used to have a very bad injury on. It runs from here with these fingers in through here. And it doesn't matter if you mess it up here, it doesn't matter if you mess it up here or here, it has the potential to mess it up everywhere. So yeah, the diclofenac. And then another thing I used a year ago when my right arm was really bothering me, but I had to stop because it was giving me heart palpitations. Now they were probably benign, not dangerous, but still I don't like having heart palpitations. And yeah, I don't like them, but it did help. Turmeric. Now it's backwards on the camera, so sorry. This is liquid turmeric. It has 1,000 milligrams per tablespoon. And if kept within a certain dosage, you're not going to get heart palpitations. So now I am drinking some of it again, but I'm keeping track of the dosage. I don't know much about how it builds up in the body and such, but I think it was after I was using it in larger doses, plus it built up in my body, that I started getting the heart palpitations. The other thing that I did for my right arm that helped, but I seem less responsive to this nowadays, is creatine. Once again, the label is backward because it's on the camera. So yeah, when I first started taking creatine about a year ago, my lifts, I mean, who needs steroids when you have creatine for the first time? Like really so much more endurance and lifting the weights, like how many reps I could do, and my workout time went through the roof. Like I was working out for 3 hours and 20 minutes total, just doing chest and triceps and legs, or chest and triceps and abs, or back and biceps and legs, or back and biceps and abs. Like those are the kind of splits I did. I don't remember if I did abs with back and biceps or if I did legs with them, but I would split upper body with abs or upper body with legs. And I would spend 3 hours and 20 minutes just on that. And then on one day of the week I would add in just doing arms on top of the things. See, creatine really worked very, very, like, my mind was blown how I'd never used it before. Like, so amazing. And I looked better too, because my muscles were holding more water, I was looking bigger. And it's interesting, because I know I'm gonna get people, oh, steroids affect all your muscles the same. But steroids tend to make your shoulders get like this very roundedness to them, but not when you're going like that. So like, you could just be like this, but your shoulders are very big. And I have kind of rounded shoulders, but that's because I specifically train my shoulders extra because I actually have genetically small shoulders and I've had shoulder injuries. So I put a lot of extra hard work just into my shoulders. And they're looking decent. But I was surprised when I took creatine for the first time. Maybe it went to all my muscles, but I noticed it a lot in my shoulders. Maybe just because they were like on the threshold of looking good and that little extra boost got them past that threshold and they looked nice and round. I don't know. But oh yeah, it also helped my shoulders. So first I'll finish up. So basically, kill the inflammation, increase the healing. Now, how much creatine is going to help speed up healing process, who knows? You can also add in CoQ10 to help your mitochondria more. The creatine helps with energy production. CoQ10 helps with keeping them healthy, making the energy. Now, maybe I shouldn't tell you this, but what I would recommend to somebody else, at least if I say it in this video, there's proof that it was my idea. Because I am very likely going to be a doctor in the future, and I would like to be able to prescribe this to people. I mean, I would like if I could get credit for it and somehow get money from it too, because I mean, who doesn't like money? So you have to kill the inflammation and get all the healing done before you get rid of the inflammation block. So say you block the inflammation, but you only heal it 80%. Now when you get rid of that inflammation block, the little tears and stuff, and this is for the tendon, in the tendon, so it causes tendon inflammation, so you gotta hold on. This isn't all tendon inflammation, there's more details, but for the most part, and all that really matters is tendon inflammation has to do with a bunch of little micro tears causing inflammation. The problem is, after those micro tears cause inflammation, the tendon gets inflamed and bigger, and then it gets more little micro tears. And it's just a self-perpetuating cycle. It makes itself worse and worse. So you gotta kill the inflammation and let it heal 100%. Not 98%, 100%. So that when you get rid of the inflammation block, you're not still in that cycle of it just getting worse and worse. Because if you only heal at 95%, well, that 5% of that little inflammation has a good potential for causing more little micro tears and more inflammation. And the more inflammation you get, the more little micro tears. And the more little micro tears, the more inflammation, and so on. And then you're back where you began. So what you'd really want to do is use specialized drugs that increase your rate of healing while killing the inflammation. That way you can kill the inflammation, get all the healing done with, get rid of the inflammation block, and you're good to go. And remember, that's my idea, Andrew Hutchings. Because that's the kind of thing that I come up with. I come up with these good, easy solutions to otherwise complex problems. Like, think about it. How many people have tendinitis? And it's like doctors are horrible at fixing, oh, let's give you some anti-inflammatories. Well, guess what? You give the average Joe some anti-inflammatories, yeah, it feels better when he's on it, but it's not healing. Yeah, it's helping it to heal, but it's not gonna heal enough. Now, if you increase the rate of the healing, then you can actually get it done. Like, doc, I'm gonna be a doctor probably, but I wanna be a doctor because I wanna be a good doctor, not like most of them. I even went to a doctor for tendinitis in my right arm. Oh, and another way you can help increase the rate of healing is just the proper training with physical therapy, but These physical therapists are usually pretty dumb also. I went to a doctor, he wouldn't even prescribe. So this Voltaren Gel, now it's over the counter here in United States, California. But just a year ago, it was not. And a doctor wouldn't even prescribe it to me unless I went to physical therapy for like 6 months beforehand. And I wasn't gonna spend money and go to physical therapy. I did physical therapy when I was younger. The girl messed me up. I'm never going back to physical therapy. I know there's good physical therapists out there, but I don't need a good physical therapist. I'm my best physical therapist. So getting back on topic, yes, you can. The key is get rid of the inflammation, get the healing done, and then let things go back to normal. And I'm using turmeric, Voltaren Gel, and ibuprofen all at the same time to kill the inflammation because, yeah, if it was not very bad, you just use the ibuprofen, or you just use the turmeric, or maybe if it's a little worse, you just use the Voltaren Gel. But the thing is, it doesn't help you just to mostly do it. You gotta kill all the inflammation. I mean, it helps if you kill some of it, most of it, but when you gotta try to kill as much as you can possibly kill of the inflammation so that the healing can be as efficient as possible. I would get a corticosteroid injection, but the last time I got one of those, it was worst decision in my whole life, actually. Now, most of the time, corticosteroid injections go smoothly. Mine did not. Yeah, if you have any questions about anything, I'm not trying to sound like a narcissist, but I'm pretty smart. I'm a troubleshooter. You don't have to know a whole lot to be able to fix a problem. That's the problem with our society nowadays. Is we have these stupid university students who, I can memorize everything in the book. How do you design a drug that, let me remember this one. How do you design a drug that's going to deactivate an enzyme? Well, you can, according to page 796, and according to, well, just tell me how you're going to do it. Well, it says in chapter 13 that you're going to... Guess what I said when the professor asked me that? It took me about 10 seconds. Let me remember first before I tell you. I don't remember if I said more, but I mean, it wasn't like an essay question. It was just a quick question asked. I said, you look at what goes into the enzyme, and you look at what comes out of the enzyme, and you design something that's somewhere in between the two of those. And that's going to form chemical bonds with the enzyme. I don't know how in depth I went, but that's a big part of it. It took me like 5 seconds, I don't know. Luckily, I got the points, but usually that's not how it goes. The points go to the retard. I'm not against mentally challenged people. Retard is a long used word for a lot. It's always been used, just a normal word. But for the moron who can cite all the stuff from all the books, but can't actually think, if it came down to actually doing anything, they wouldn't have a clue what to do. I mean, yeah, they could eventually go through all the hundreds of pages and maybe somehow do something, but yeah, I mean, most people at university, and that's not even a troubleshooting thing, I got a little off topic, but you give someone a problem and they only know how to do things based on what they've learned exactly. If something doesn't fit exactly into what they've learned, they don't know what to do. That's even doctors, a lot of doctors. Now, not all doctors. There are some good doctors. There are. But most doctors, if they've learned this thing here, this thing here, this thing here, but you get something that falls in between the two of them, they don't know what to do. And if you get something that falls over here, not even over here, they're completely no idea. And it's not about how much you know. It's about how well you can use what you know. You can memorize every single thing in all of the books, But if you don't know how to do anything with any of it, why does it matter? Now you think, well, if you know it all, you of course know how to. No, you don't, trust me. I've been in chemistry lab with fourth year students, and I don't know why the TA asked this question, but she went, okay, we're going around in a circle answering questions. Like I said, I don't know why she even asked this, but if you do a series of 4 serial dilutions, like 10 times serial dilutions, what concentration do you end up with? And the girl she asked went, I don't know. Can you tell me? Something like that. You're a fourth year chemistry student. You watching this video, I'll teach you right now. Okay, so you got this turmeric. You see this cup? So we're gonna put 1 capful of turmeric in here. It's about a capful. So ultimately, you've got 1 capful of this turmeric in here. And let's just use a shot glass. And let's assume this shot glass is the same amount of liquid as in that thing of turmeric. I'll be back in 1 second. Oh shit, that's... 1 second. Okay, so assuming this shot glass is the same size as that little bit of turmeric that's in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if the original turmeric was, let's just say, pure turmeric, let's just say, so let's give it a score of 100, it's pure, 100% turmeric. Now if you dilute it by 10, oh, and I actually did it wrong, I put 10, I should have put 9, but I'm not thinking because I'm just having fun. Because if you put 10 now, it's diluted by a factor of 11. But ignore that. It's not exact anyways. So you started with 100% turmeric, and now you divided it by 10 because you diluted it by 10. What's the new concentration? 100 divided by 10. It's 1/10 of the original concentration. You do this 4 more times, guess what? You just go divided by 10, divided by 10, divided by 10. Now, I'll slowly explain it again, because I know that if you're not a science person, this can be complicated. If you have blue M&Ms and green M&Ms, and you have 1 blue M&M at first, and you put this 1 blue M&M down, you have 100%, it's all blue M&M. But then if you add 9 more, so now you have a total of 10 M&Ms, and only 1 of them is blue. Now it's 1/10 the concentration of blue M&Ms. Does that make sense? It's now a smaller portion of the whole. So yeah, I know this started out as a video about what to do, what I'm doing for my tendon and nerve stuff going on, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe now you know how to calculate dilutions. And actually, if you can't just visualize it in your head, there's actually a formula too, a very simple one that you learn in high school called, I think it's just the M1V1 equals M2V2. So yeah, can you believe that a 4th year chemistry student that's gonna go on to be a scientist, or even worse, actually she wants to go to pharmacy school, But if she couldn't learn how to do that in 4 years of university, you think after 4 more years of pharmacy school that you should trust her to make your drugs or to make the preparations? I don't think so. I don't want her anywhere near my stuff. That's how most people are nowadays, sadly. They don't know how to do anything. They don't have a brain. All they have is a memorizer. It's insane. There's so many examples like that. So please like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, if you have any questions about science or anything, let me know. I'll gladly answer them. If you have questions about being in university, I'll answer them. So have a good day. I hope you like this video. Like and subscribe.